Well, for starters, Apple has finally introduced USB-C on the iPhone 15 Pro Max for the first time. There is a new button, the Action button, which has a lot of different uses, not to mention the new 25x photo zoom range and also the 5x zoom range. The colors, the new sizing, weight difference, and even the brightness level compared to the older iPhone models. Apple might just have outdone themselves with this one. Now, it's been 2 months of me using the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I guess the biggest thing that we should start off with is the USB-C port, the new USB-C ports. Now, me personally, I genuinely like the USB-C ports. I guess Apple is trying to make everything more simple. Eventually, they're going to change everything to the USB-C ports. And for me, that's perfect. Keeping it simple, only needed to bring out one wire whenever you're traveling. So it seems like Apple really are trying to make everything easier, especially for me personally, because a lot of the items in my house are run or operated by a USB-C. So it just makes everything easier, and it just makes traveling a whole lot easier, because only having to carry one wire is much better than having to look for your lightning wire. So I guess moving on, we should talk about the dynamic island. So I know it's been 2 years using the dynamic island, but I actually haven't owned the 14 Pro or any of the 14 models, so this will be my first time giving my opinion on the dynamic island. So the dynamic island, to me, even though a lot of people are complaining about it and saying that it's not really useful, I love that it's able to display a current app or phone call. It displays the phone call that you're having and allows you to just jump straight back in there quicker than swiping up and having to go back into your phone call. So I genuinely like that. So I have been using the 15 Pro Max for 2 months, and I genuinely don't have anything bad to say about it. The only one thing that might annoy me is the always on display. The always on display kind of annoys me sometimes, but it's not the most important thing in the world. It's not the most serious thing in the world. If you're wondering, the always on display does not affect the battery life. I think that's because the phone drops down to 1 Hz, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It drops down to 1 Hz, so technically the phone is still decreasing at the normal standard battery weight as it would be when we never had the always on display feature. Moving on to the new Action button. Now, the new Action button is very useful. You're able to not only just keep your phone on silent by holding it down, so you're able to access your camera with the Action button, and a couple of other features as well that may be useful to some of you. Me personally, I just keep it to silent and also keep it to opening up my camera. That's what works for me, but you know, something else could work for you guys. Now, I think one of the main things that I'm excited about, especially being a tech content creator, is the new photo quality. The photo quality is insane. Me personally, I know I might always say it after I get a new phone that the photo quality has improved, but on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I genuinely believe that this might just be the best photo quality ever, especially with us now being able to record in Pro Log, which is basically, compared to your DSLR camera, the iPhone is not far off. Come on, I know the DSLRs are way better, but the iPhone is not far off, and especially this gives an opportunity for those who say might just want to start YouTube or might start taking semi-professional semi-professional videos. It does give them, a chance, and it makes them feel nice when they're taking their videos, especially the photo quality. I'll post a couple of images. I was out in the park yesterday, and you can just see here that the photo quality is crazy. The photo quality is very nice, especially with the new 25x photo zoom range and also the 5x zoom range. I just love what Apple have done with this new camera quality. Now, if we just go back to talking about the new USB Type-C port, one thing that I now love is that we're now able to connect our SSDs or hard drive straight to the phone and upload our photos to the hard drive or SSD straight away. Also, you're able to record your Prolog videos straight onto your hard drive or straight onto your SSD. Now, one thing I must say is that if you are recording in Prolog, be very wary that it does take up a lot of your storage. So my advice to you is to get that SSD or get that hard drive and use that whenever you're recording on your Prolog, as that will help much more, and it will also help in the longevity of your iPhone storage. Now, one thing I did notice with the iPhone 14 Pro Max was the weight difference. The weight difference with the iPhone 14 Pro Max compared to the 15 Pro Max feels much different. Now, it is only a 10% weight difference on paper, but in person, if you own the 15 Pro Max and a 14 Pro Max, you can feel the difference, and it feels way better. It feels way better compared to carrying a heavy phone compared to the light phone. The light phone is way better, and this is what I'm going to stick with all the time. But just like me, if you've had the 14 Pro Max for a long time and now just upgrading to the 15 Pro Max, you do get used to the 14 Pro Max's weight. So when you do switch over to the 15 Pro Max, you are able to feel the huge weight difference. Now, I actually do have both the 15 Pro Max and a black 15 Pro. So if you guys enjoy this one and would like me to review the 15 Pro, just let me know down in the comments below. If any of you are considering getting the 15 Pro, let me know so I can do that review video for you guys and give my opinion on how I like it. Now, another thing that should also be mentioned is the brightness. So when I was using the 14 Pro Max and now the 15, when I put them together, I can see the huge difference in the brightness levels. To me, I prefer the brightness on the 15 Pro Max. I know it may seem like I'm hyping up the 15 Pro Max right now, but hey, the 15 Pro Max, I love this phone. The 15 Pro Max just has to be the best iPhone for me. I don't know, I have also seen a lot of people complaining about it, that the battery life isn't good, it goes fast, and also iOS bugs. I have to say, personally, I haven't experienced none of those things. It's only been 2 months and so far it's been so good. Now, as we know, Apple's photo quality and camera quality has been the best for years. Compared to other Android models, the iPhone has always been on top. If you want to talk about camera quality, to me, I'm going to forever stand by that until Apple or Android can prove me wrong, I should say. But the camera quality on iPhone has always been on top. So in summary, with the iPhone 15, in terms of the camera quality and the new zoom, the multifunctional action button, the colors, the round corners for better comfort and new weight and size, not to mention now introducing USB Type-C thanks to Europe, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is a great phone when we put all the new features into perspective. So should you upgrade to the 15 series? If you currently own the 14 series, then there's actually no need to upgrade. A rule of thumb that I like to stick to is never being more than 2 series behind. So if you're on the 13 series, then I would suggest you upgrade to the 15 series. But of course, that's only if you can, as I do understand that not everybody is able to. But if you can, then I suggest that you do. But if you don't, then it's not that serious, as the 13 series is a very good phone. But if you are considering to upgrade to the 15 series from the 14 series, I wouldn't do so, as there's not much difference, and it would just make more sense to wait until the 16 series releases. Now, with iOS 18 coming up, there's a lot to look forward to with the new iPhone 15, so that is super exciting. Shout out to Apple for this sick phone. Hopefully they're able to resolve the overheating issue soon. And this has been the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Let me know if you guys want to see the 15 Pro review as well.